Alright, how is everybody doing today? Now, as most of you know who have been watching my videos lately, my name is Matt. This is the Gaming Corner. And in today's video we're going to be talking about the games that I physically picked up in the month of July. Now, first things first, let's get this out of the way. I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel lately. I'm actually closing in on 200 subscribers, which to me is amazing. Didn't think my retro gaming stuff would make that many people want to come and follow me, but it is. So, the last couple of videos I did were based off of, like these games you see right back here, Shaq Fu and all that. I know it's kind of hard to see them, but they were based off of a video game monthly subscription. In the month of July, I got two of them. I got video game, I think it's called Video Game Monthly. That usually comes around the 1st to the 3rd. I'm not sure if I'll get the August one, which should be here. Today is August 3rd. It's early morning August 3rd, so when the mail comes, it might be here. The second one is Video Game Treasures Monthly. That usually comes towards the end of the month. So, with that, I did get a few other games through them. You can watch those two videos. I have them linked in the description down below, so you guys can see them. But we're going to talk about the games I physically picked up myself. There's not many, and in reality, these are games that I actually didn't really even need to buy. But they're games that I did buy for certain reasons. One being that when I'm playing my Sega Saturn games, my physical US Saturn is hooked up to that TV back there. Okay, so that's on that TV. When I'm sitting here in front of my computer screen, which I have a TV off to this side, I can kind of show you it. It's a little messy on this side of my desk, but it's right there. Okay? Normally if I'm going to show you guys stuff on my desk, I usually have this stuff cleaned off. But that is where I play my Sega Genesis, my Sega Mega Drive. All that is usually right here, sitting here, so I can do the recordings. But like I was saying, when it comes to my Saturn, I have the Japanese Saturn hooked up to this side. So it's nice to have Sega Saturn games that are from Japan over here to play. So without further ado, let's get into what games they are. The first two games I picked up are Daytona USA. We'll show this one after the video. So this is the first one I picked up. It's not technically complete because it doesn't have that little side card they have in here, but it is complete enough. And we'll show a little bit of gameplay footage of it, and I'll talk a little bit about why I like Daytona in that video. So let's go to the video real quick. Alright, so here we are inside Daytona USA for the Japanese Sega Saturn. I almost said Mega Drive. Now, with this game, I don't know what it is with this game, but this is one that I have loved ever since playing it in the arcade. And truth be told, in reality, I have this on here, and then I have the arcade version on my Xbox 360. I actually like this version more in reality. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just nostalgia. Maybe it's because I'm old. Not sure which. The car controls great in this game. The game itself is fun for an early 32-bit title. This game is awesome. Now, if I could have got that power slide to work right, going around those corners, that's fun. But this game has always held a big interest for me. It's always been fun. When I did see it on the 360, the arcade version, I had to buy it immediately. When I got my Dreamcast and I saw it there at Daytona on there, I had to buy it immediately. Look at that crash. Oof. Messed up my car. Let's go show you what the pit looks like real quick. Now, you don't hear any sound in this game. I don't know what happened with my sound recording. I recorded all three of the videos you will see in here at the same time. Why this one didn't have sound, I don't know. But look how nice that pit crew looks for a 32-bit game. Tires aren't completely square, which is cool. They do got a little bit of roundness to them. That was one thing about a lot of 32-bit games. One of the biggest complaints for this game is the draw distance. And if you're watching the video here like this, yes, you can see how bad the draw distance is. Especially the Sonic Wall. That was one that always caught my attention when I played this when I was younger. I did wish a Sonic Wall popped in better, which they did fix on the Dreamcast. It's slightly better on Daytona Championship Circuit, but still not great. But yeah, the draw distance was not the best. But when you're playing this game, you honestly don't realize that too often. And the car controls beautifully in this game. The graphics, these are some dang good graphics for 32-bit era. For, you know, back in the PlayStation 1 era and Sega Saturn era. I mean, these were some great graphics. There was one thing that caught me by surprise today while recording this that I don't know if I ever really noticed when I was playing this when I was younger. I knew the clouds on the back of my car only moved in one direction. And I knew that was different from the arcade. I knew the arcade, when you were turning, they would go diagonally across the car and stuff like that. That I always picked up on. What I don't know if I remember back from then is when I'm passing the other cars that are passing me, there's clouds on their windows too. I honestly don't know if I remember that. But those are the small little details that maybe I didn't notice when I was younger that I'm picking up now as I'm getting older. And maybe because I'm watching more to see if there is any real big difference. You know that little spinny thing that we just passed up on the top, the little like slot machine looking thing? If you stop your car, and I think it's the X button, you can actually get those things to stop. Alright, this is the end of Daytona. Like I said, this game has massive nostalgia for me. I did like crap in the race. But let's get back to the non-voiceover me and let him talk about the next game coming up. Alright, so that was Daytona USA for the Japanese Saturn. It is absolutely no different than the US version. The other one I picked up for the Japanese unit, now this one is disc only because it saved me a few bucks, is Daytona USA Championship Circuit. So this was the second one I picked up. So let's go check out a little bit of gameplay of that one. Welcome back to VoiceOver Matt. Alright, so in this one, bye Sasha, my kitty just rubbed up to my leg. Now, this Daytona USA, get back on track here. I like to ramble when I'm doing these. Now, this one, definitely better draw distance. You still get the pop-ins though if you watch in the background. Definitely not like what you see today in games. But this one definitely had the better draw distance. They backed up the car view a little bit. The Sonic Wall looked like it came in great there. I actually wasn't paying much attention during the playback here. And I was hitting the wrong buttons there. But this one actually does play really good. It does have some cloud type look on the back of the car. I will admit, I like this one. But if I had to make the choice between this one or Daytona USA, the first one, I usually gravitate towards Daytona USA, the first one. There's something about that one that's better. I think it actually has to do with the music. Hearing that, you know, gentlemen, start your engines, rolling start song and all that, the music in the other one is better. Now, going off of this one, with this being the Japanese Championship Circuit, this one, according to, I believe it was Metal Jesus Rocks that was talking about this, he did mention how this game has bug fixes that the US version had, and they fixed some of that, and they made the AI control of the cars better. I noticed these suckers are just look like they're trying to cut me off like crazy when I was racing. Now, I haven't really tested out that theory too much, so I don't really know if it's true. But, you know, the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to play both of them side by side, go through. I think there was a career mode in this one. I'm not sure. I'll double check that. But physically wise, this game is still really good. Not a Sonic Wall still pops in. I just watched it there. It doesn't pop in as bad though. But this game is still really good. It's definitely a good Daytona game. Like I said, I like the first one still better, and I got a feeling it's to do with music. But this was another one that, when it did come out for the Saturn, I picked up immediately, because I am a Daytona USA fan. And no complaints on this game neither. Sorry that you don't hear any kind of sound at all during these gameplays, but just the way it went. I actually did a lot better in this race than the other one. And here again too, the car control's good. I think the car control's a little bit better in Daytona USA 1. I think in that one it's definitely more of an arcade feel with the way the car handles. This one does feel like it might be a tad bit stiffer type idea. Doesn't make it bad or anything. It's just it doesn't have the exact same feel. Look at that crowded bunch up. But again, graphic-wise, it's really good. It has some really great details again. The Sonic Wall still looks cool as hell. But, like I said, if I get a choice, it's number one. I don't know how many times I can say that. Alright, it's time to head back over to the real me and not voiceover. Right. That was Daytona USA Championship Circuit, the Japanese version. Now, that one is said that it is slightly different than the US one. And apparently they fixed some bugs in it. But like I said before, there are two games that I really didn't need. I do have Daytona in the 3-pack here, and I have Daytona USA Championship Edition Circuit here. And boy, does it get a lot of reflections. Look at that. Yeah, eat your heart out, NVIDIA, with my reflection program. Look at that. Ugh. So I actually didn't need it because I do have these two. But in order to play those on my Japanese Saturn, either I have to have it hard modded to make it region free, which I will not do, or I could just go ahead and use the Saturn Unlocker. Now I have this for 2 fan translated games that I had a guy put on a disc for me, and he made them look pretty good. But that's the only reason why I have this, so I can play those. But this is the only one that works on my Japanese Saturn. If I put in my action replay card, it's a 50-50 chance if the games will read off of it. So this comes in handy. Alright, the next game. This is one that I picked up for the PC. Now, ever since I made my Windows XP PC, I've been rebuying older games that I miss playing. And this is one I didn't even actually really know was on the PC until I saw it. Sega GT. I actually really love this one on the PC. I don't know what it is about it that makes it better to me. I don't know if it's because I'm using a 360 controller that it handles really well. But I'm loving this one on PC. Let's go to a little bit of gameplay footage here of what goes on with this game. Alright, so this is a game that I did pick on up. And yes, this time you can actually get some sound from it. Like I said, I recorded all 3 of these at the same time. They show all had sound. This is the only one that produced the sound, so don't ask me. Now, by looking at the recording, this looks like it is playing at 1080p. I can't be sure of that completely because there was nothing in the options to change the settings. All I can do is put the settings on high. But there is something about the way this one handles and the way it looks on the PC that I just love. I mean, it's smooth as butter, which it is on the Dreamcast also. But there's just something about it on here that drove me wild when I first started playing it. I was like, damn, this is good. Now, for anybody wondering about this, now this is listed as abandonware. So you can always look it up that way wise and see if maybe those guys figured out how to get to work on Windows 11 or Windows 10. For those two, I could not get the game to work. It would load, you would hear it, but you wouldn't get any video footage or any image of the game. That does have to do with the fact that it is an older DirectX, and it does use some older video drivers that are no longer used in the newer Windows. Someone might have got that fixed. I don't know. I was just happy that since I did build the XP machine that I could actually run this game. And just like I said, I don't know what it is about it on here. The game runs smooth. It's beautiful. The graphics are extremely nice on here. And like maybe it's because I'm getting older and my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. But damn, this is good on here. I've actually started the career mode on it. I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I don't really know what else to say about this game besides on the PC, this looks awesome. And this is definitely one game I wish Sega would bring back. Sega GT is a lot of fun. And the other thing too about some of these older racing games, like if you take a look at, I'm sure that Gran Turismo games do it too, if you set it for it, where they have the race line on there where it tells you, oh, you want to brake here. You don't get that in this. You got to actually see those corners coming, make sure you hit them at the right speed. Oh, just everything. There's just something about this game. Sure, the lighting from the lights could be better, but they didn't have that kind of stuff back then. They were still working on it. Sega did an awesome job on this game. This game was, I don't know if Activision produced it or if they just sold it. Because it does have an Activision title screen on here too. Activision value. But how can you go wrong with that? Look at that. I finished first base, man. Driving a big old cube. Alright, it is time to go back to regular Matt instead of the voice over me. And this was the last game with gameplay footage. See you guys in the next one. Alright, welcome back. Now, as I said here, with Sega GT, this is another game I really didn't need. I have the Dreamcast version of the game. Look at it. Even the label. Oh my god, there's that good reflections again. Even the labels are the same. So this was a game I really didn't need. This one. But not to be outdone, I also have Sega GT 2000 on the OG Xbox. So look at that tag up there. I got that for $2. And it is one with Jet Set Radio Future. And just recently, I picked up Sega GT Online. So I got quite a few Sega GT games. Alright, the last game in the list. As most of you have heard in here, I have been working on trying to complete what's listed as the official North American Sega Master System collection. I'm down to, I think, from the list I was able to find, I'm down to, I believe it's like the last 18 games, and they're getting up there in price. I got this one for a good deal from the guy that I buy a lot of my games from. He is from the UK, so this is the European version, but there's no region locks on the Sega Master System. And by the way, when you do put this into a US system, it does play at 60 Hertz, not at 50. That is built into the systems, not the cartridges. And that game happens to be whoosh, Fantasy Zone. This was only box and cart. He gave me a deal on both of them that he had. He gave me the deal on this one and the one that came with the manual. Unfortunately, for the price, I had to go this route. And because that's all I could really afford. These 4 games did not break the bank. I didn't spend any more than, I think, $30 on everything. So it wasn't like it broke the bank or anything. But, like I said, for Fantasy Zone, if you watched any of my older videos, you should know I have the Sega Mark III version of Fantasy Zone, which is still the Master System. The Mark III was the Master System in Japan. And this works great with the adapter I have on my, you can't even see it, but I'm about to point over here. On my Sega Genesis. Now the one I'm actually touching over here, this would not work on because this is my 32X. This is the Tower of Power I got hiding under here. I do have this one right here where you can actually see the controller some. That is a Japanese Mega Drive Sega Genesis. Then underneath down here is where I keep the one I use from a Master System adapter. But this works great. And yeah, you just heard I have 3 different Genesis sitting at my desk. This works great. There was no reason to buy Fantasy Zone, but I wanted the one that matches what's sitting behind my head more. But those are all the games I physically picked up, just those 4. Fantasy Zone, Sega GT, and both Daytona games. That was it. Not a very big month. I'm hoping that this coming month in August, I will have a little bit better of a game pickup. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.